All right, everyone, thank you everyone for coming. It's 6 o'clock on the dot, and trying to do a little bit too much this evening, so we're going to keep things as regimented as possible. Again, appreciate you all for coming, and with the time limit, we are going to keep time with pretty strict on minutes per question, and also we're not going to likely have any time for questions from the audience, or and this will be much more of a forum as opposed to a debate, in that each candidate will provide their answers, then their opponent or the other opponents will provide their answers. I'm Caleb Straight. I'm from the Record Argus. I'm the editor, and we thought this was a nice opportunity to let everyone meet the candidates. Hopefully, people like me and Earl do a great job of writing about races and the people running in them, but it's hard to beat seeing people in person and hearing things strictly from their mouths. So I appreciate you doing that, and I assume you're going to vote on Tuesday, which is also awesome. So thank you for all of that. Two people in front of you right now are our controller candidates. They're going to introduce themselves in a moment, so I won't waste my time doing that. We're going to talk to these folks first. We're going to get to know them very well, and then we will talk to our much larger pool of council and somewhat mayor candidates for Greenville. So for the controller candidates, we're going to give them a little more time per answer, 3 minutes per answer. And when we go to the Greenville council candidates, because there's a lot of them, we're going to keep that closer to 2. So I'm going to sit down, and we are recording this. There's video, so please no swearing or violent outbursts. That's going to ruin the video, and I don't want that. So, all right. So, yeah, we've got these handy timers too, the 3 minutes each flip. And so with Steve being on the left, we're going to start with him first on this question. We'll alternate back and forth, so each of you will get a chance to go first with each question. So, so Steve, feel free to grab the timer. And yeah, so our first question is just for you to introduce yourself, talk about your qualifications. What do you bring to the job of controller?
Thank you very much. Thank you for everyone coming out this evening in the Record Argus for hosting this event, and also my family and friends here supporting me. My name is Steve Sherman. I'm currently serving as your Mercer County Controller. I graduated from Hickory High School with honors, studied at West Virginia University in their College of Business and Economics before matriculating to the Pittsburgh Institute of Mortuary Science, where I graduated and earned my professional license. After which I owned and operated a small business here in Mercer County while managing 2 private retirement plans. I continued my education at that point, my accounting education at Thiel College and Penn State University, where I earned my certification as a Pennsylvania Public Retirement Plan Professional. I am currently the only retirement board member who holds that certification, which is important because I act as both the secretary and administrator of the Mercer County Retirement Plan. Our current assets somewhere around $115 million right now. Since taking office, I have operated under budget every single year. Our office is responsible for over $1.5 million in tax dollars saved. We designed and implemented the first ever fraud prevention initiative. I'm sure everyone's familiar, fraud is kind of on the uptick everywhere. So we've been able to defend our tax dollars from thousands in fraudulent attempts. And most recently, we completed the most comprehensive financial system upgrade in Mercer County history. So we're very proud of that, very proud of the team that we've assembled in the Controller's office, and we look to continue those efforts serving Mercer County taxpayers. So in that light, I ask for your support, and I ask for your vote on November 4th. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Steve. Yeah, I didn't account for having a little sand left in the we don't do this a whole lot. So, yeah, I do have another backup timer here. I'm a writer professionally, so that'll explain most of it. I have a secondary timer here. We'll just go ahead with you, Deb.
Okay.
I'm going to hit start here. You go ahead with your 3 minutes.
All right, thank you. Thank you everybody for coming. I'm Deb Fischer, and I am also a candidate for Mercer County Controller this year. So I've lived in Grove City for over 50 years. And I raised my son there, and I have two beautiful granddaughters who now live in Colorado. I've served in many capacities in various organizations, such as Parents Without Partners, Boy Scouts Committee, in the local area, American Businesswomen's Association. Currently, I am a delivery driver for Meals on Wheels and the treasurer for Mercer County Democrat Party. I have a strong background in accounting, payroll, and financial reporting. I've supervised office personnel at 3 local car dealerships as a business manager for many years, as a software installer, trainer, and I did support for 2 national software companies for over 15 years. And I traveled extensively throughout the United States and Canada. And as such, I interacted with many individuals in many locations. And one thing that I bring to as my experience or as my person, I will bring my core tenets of honesty, transparency, and willingness to serve the community. And we didn't need the time.
Perfect, you did good. You're both doing very good. Thank you. So yes, we'll move on to the next question. This is an important job for our county. That's why you're running for it. What plans do you have for the office? What would you change? What would you do differently? What can we do better? Or what's working really well? So Deb, why don't you go ahead with this one?
Okay. Currently in the courthouse, they're using ADP, automatic data processing, for their payroll software. And as a business manager at the dealerships, I used ADP payroll to create our payroll, to record our records, to pay the taxes, and then I became an employee of ADP. So for 17 years, I installed the system, I trained others on that system, and I supported the users on the ADP payroll system. So I look forward to working with that system again. I'm coming from private sector, of course. I have not worked in the county or in state government before. So I'm excited to learn the laws, regulations, and procedures needed for the county office. Because I have a lot of interpersonal skills, because I traveled so much with the computer company, I've worked in many different locations and with a lot of different individuals. So I'm looking forward to being able to communicate, use those skills to communicate with the other departments in the courthouse, and to keep an open relationship with them. I hope to restore taxpayer confidence with the competency and transparency of our office, and assure them that their questions will be answered. I don't have Steve's qualifications for the pension, but I hope to be able to also acquire that certification, because I have on the dealership level enrolled people and maintain the pension records and disperse funds for a third-party pension. So that's my background on that. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Steve, same question.
All right. So I think it's important to illustrate, that payroll is one of the very important things that we do in the controller's office, but it's not nearly one of the core functions. With accounting and audit, that is by far what we do most. And having a strong background in those areas is probably most important. The ADP system that we have stood up is functioning, so we're very proud of that. We got it done in record time. That was actually thrown at us while we were in the midst of the Oracle implementation. So we had very, very dedicated staff who stepped up and worked tirelessly to get that up and running, and it's now been functioning, I think, over 3 months now, actually, so very proud of that. And the Oracle system, of course, which is a nationwide leading financial software system. It was very important, speaking of relationships, it was very important to go out and convince companies to work with a county of our size. Our county is not a market area that Oracle resellers are looking to engage with, so that was very difficult to do. I was able to get that software and get the attention of those companies, and then also negotiate a very, very significant savings for Mercer County on the front end, because again, they don't work with our size county. So we were a little bit of a litmus test, which turned out very, very well for us. We've been live on that system for 2 months now, and it's functioning great. As far as the transparency or taxpayer confidence, I'm not sure what my opponent is referring to there. If we're talking about savings, I've detailed the savings right below me here that our office has worked very hard on behalf of the taxpayers to do. And reporting in addition to our accounting and audit. I don't know how to explain this. The simplest way is not only do we have to complete, track, and manage the accounting, but we also have to formulate those reports and that reporting and make sure that that's done on time. We have met our DCD requirement every single year. We've been on time with that filing, this year included. And as far as transparency goes, I think it's important that the taxpayers and the voters know that as of Friday, my opponent had missed multiple scheduled reporting dates for campaign finance. So I think that's something that we should take a look at. Thank you, Caleb.
Yeah. So I'm at the commissioner meetings 90% of the time, and if I'm not there, someone from the Record Argus is, and probably by far the most contentious topic of recent months has been the Oracle software, which you just mentioned a little bit about, but it'd be impossible to discuss this race and this position without talking about Oracle. So talk a little bit about your thoughts on it, how it's gone, whether has the contention been earned, is it not earned? Definitely something I think voters want to hear both of you talk about. So Deb started with the last one, so Steve, will start with you.
Absolutely. So as I mentioned, this is nationwide, leading financial systems. It's a large system. It's very powerful in computing. I think what Caleb was mentioning was became a little bit of the political football. There was, an individual who tried to make it political. I don't know if we're going to get into the depths of that. Happy to, quote the county code and different areas where it showed that we were right. But from the political standpoint, the plan that was in place, that was signed off on, that was approved by not just myself, but there was communication and approved, was to save Mercer County taxpayers money on that implementation. We had actually started gaining time so that we wouldn't have any overages. So that plan that was in place, that was criticized, became political. The aggregate effects of that would have been, another savings of $300,000 to the Mercer County taxpayers. That's what we were trying to do in the controller's office. We were trying to save more money. So it became a little bit of the political football there. After which, though, I have to give so much credit to the staff of the controller's office. They were criticized, they were falsely accused on a number of counts. We can certainly dive into that. But they never wavered. The staff in the controller's office, despite that criticism, stood up. They put their head down, they kept working. We didn't lose any more time from that point. And again, we stood it up, and it's been operating and functioning terrifically so far for us. Something else about the Oracle project, stage 2, is going to be the rollout to other departments. And we've just started to engage other departments and roll that system out to them. This is going to be very, very important in Mercer County in both managing and the efficiency of our finances, mainly because that tool was never available to departments outside of fiscal, treasurer, and the controller's office. Those 3 offices were the only core users of our financial management system. So if you can imagine, if you're sitting out at the jail and you're the department head and you're trying to figure out where your finances are flowing or where your budget to actual is, we were physically moving paper around the county to try to get invoices paid, to try to track where we were, to try to communicate on our finances, which was obviously horribly inefficient and antiquated. So as we roll that out, it's going to be paramount to our operations and really bring us into the current century here when it comes to financial management. So we look forward to that. We're working on that. The only thing I would say, tail caution there is, we're full steam ahead. I think it could disrupt that process if we had somebody new come in and we had to get them up to speed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Deb?
Well, first I'd like to assure Steve that my campaign finance reports are not delivered because my campaign didn't even collect any funds until this quarter, and I don't have to report until the end of the year, so please straighten that record.
That's not true.
Untrue, okay. So as far as the Oracle project, there's been a lot of talk about the delayed installation and the extra expense of the Oracle software project. As the commissioners are well aware, this has been an issue. And as far as the savings of the $1 million, we're still waiting for an explanation of that. This right to know has been submitted, but that has not been replied to. I understand that only 3 departments are operational at the moment. And so though I'm not familiar with the Oracle system, I've worked on 3 other computer systems as installer, trainer, and software support. So I feel comfortable that I can catch myself up to speed on the installation of that. I understand that they started paying maintenance agreement on that system before it was even optional. So I do have a question about the licensing agreements. Are those being paid for before all those other things are installed? So that's all I have to say.
Good, thank you. Those are our big questions for the night. You guys have both been very efficient, so we'll give you, you haven't needed 3 minutes for anything yet. So if you need 4 minutes, let's get your closing statements, make a final pitch to the voters. You have a lot of voters here. What makes you the right person, the best person? We want the best person in that position. And so sell us on you. Deb, go ahead.
You wanna start?
Yeah.
So I bring many years of supervising personnel and piling data between dealership departments to create an accurate and timely financial statement. I'm very familiar with and have used and trained on software programs that are used to produce general ledgers and financial statements. I know how to review and investigate inconsistencies in financial transactions. I've had lots of experience at that. I'm very familiar with having generally accepted accounting principles like assets and liabilities and how they're recorded and revenues and expenses. I've used and trained others on how to use software that produces those general ledgers and financial statements. And I look forward to the challenge of using my existing skills and knowledge and learning the county operations and procedures. Do you want me to do opening and closing now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've heard many comments about the lack of transparency by the current controller, and his response appears to take the comments as a personal attack. I don't understand that. I feel the taxpayers have a right to know how their money is being spent and managed. I want to ensure all county residents that all public records will be available and questions will be answered in a timely manner. I'm a hardworking, dependable employee. I'm not a politician. However, I do ask for you to vote for me on the record report.
Thank you. Steve.
Thank you. Again, I think my opponent's not quite understanding the system of government and filings. All of our financials are available both in the clerk of courts and filed with the DCED. It's available on their website, as a matter of fact. So you don't even have to file a right to know request to get that information. It's all there. And again, as I mentioned, all of our filings have been on time. We've maintained our bond rating every year that I've been in office. So again, very, very proud of the team we've built and the job we've done. We want to continue our updates. Before I took office, a lot of our systems, as I mentioned, were very antiquated, paper-based, inefficient, hard to really have visibility or track our finances efficiently. So we've undertaken this, and I understand projects like this don't come without difficulty or lumps and bumps, so to speak. But when I reflect on our efficiency and our team in the controller's office, I couldn't be more proud, honestly. I leave this evening with a heart full with the job that we've done and how we've served the taxpayers in Mercer County. If we're looking at efficiency, we've improved that. If we're looking at savings of tax dollars, we've done that. If we're looking at the implementation of software, getting it up and functioning, we've done that. And we intend on continuing doing that for the Mercer County taxpayers. So again, I couldn't be more proud, and I really look forward to continue serving in the multiple capacities that the controller does. One thing that I would like to mention as well, after participating as the retirement board secretary and administrator, our value has gone up approximately $20 million, $18 to $20 million since I took office. And that's important for two reasons. The first reason, it's obviously very important to the employees who have earned that benefit. And we want to preserve that and maintain that for them. It's something that they rely on and should be handled carefully. So we've done that. And number two, it's important to the taxpayers in Mercer County. We are currently overfunded, which means that our retirement fund has more funds than our liabilities or obligations look like right now. So that's important to the taxpayer, because if that retirement fund is not managed appropriately, efficiently, and responsibly, that expense could be passed on to the taxpayer. In other words, if we don't manage that responsibly, the taxpayer could be footing the bill. And in other small counties across Pennsylvania, that's what's happening. They are underfunded. So again, I look to those accomplishments, very proud of the team that we've built, and I ask for your support and the opportunity to finish our work and to continue serving you as Mercer County Controller. Again, I ask for your vote. I ask that you vote Steve Sherman on November 4th. Thank you very much.
Very good. Well, thank you both for being here. Thank you for your time, and I think everyone hopefully found that useful. And so at this point, we're going to bring all of our Greenville people forward. Someone asked me if you don't want to sit through the Greenville questions. If you're more of a county person, I get that. We're going to get into it. So we're going to get brass tacks of Greenville spending and taxes and whatnot. And so if that doesn't interest you, that's your problem. But feel free to go if your part's done. And our council people want to come up. So I want our 3 people running for mayor on this side, and then from there, everybody else.